Oops. Okay. Just waiting for people to turn up. Just in case you're wondering, my hair's a little goofy. Hello. Just waiting for people to turn up. While we're waiting, I'd love to know where you're from. I'm here in Vancouver, Canada. Okay. Where are you from? We're just waiting for everyone to turn up. So where are you from? I'm in Vancouver, Canada. I live downtown. My door is wide open here, so it's kind of noisy. But it's hot out, so I don't want to turn it, or I don't want to close the door. So I'm not usually on. Sometimes I am. 7 o'clock. Yeah, sometimes the day just gets away from me, and I always want to do a live. Hi, Sarah from Toronto, and Mandy from Cassville, Missouri. I've never heard of Cassville before. Cassville, Missouri. Welcome. So where are you from? My daughter was just rolling her eyes at me because she was trying to show me, hi, Marie from north of Dallas, Texas. Welcome. She was trying to show me how to do WhatsApp. So we don't get along when it comes to technology. She loses her patience with me. I don't blame her. Anyways, we were just laughing. Okay, so got Christine from Toronto. Welcome. So I've got a couple people. So I've got Sarah and Christine from Toronto. I'm on YouTube and Facebook, by the way. And Kate from Auckland, New Zealand. I only stayed there for, I think, one night on our way to Queenstown to ski. We used to live in Australia. So Trinidad, Caribbean island close to Venezuela. Yeah, I know where Trinidad is, believe it or not. I don't know where Cassville, Missouri is, but I know where Trinidad is. Welcome, Natasha. Welcome. Nastasia. Sorry. Australia, Tasmania. Never got down that far. We lived in Sydney and Brisbane. And Abby so I got Millie from Australia, Abby from Australia, Monica from Boston, Tiffany from Minnesota. Or is it Montana? I don't know which one, sorry. Catherine from Ava, New York. Haven't heard of that before. So welcome, everyone. I'm going to get going now. My name is Lisa. I'm a parent. Oh, wait a minute. Hours south of Joplin, Missouri. I don't know where Joplin is. I basically don't know Missouri. So I don't think I've had too many clients from there. Usually when I get clients from all around the world, I'll check out where they're from. And Katarina from Sydney. We lived in, what was it called? Near North Ryde. Can't remember the name of the suburb. It started with an M. And in Sydney. Holiday, Florida. Is that the name of a place? That's cute, Holiday. Okay, so let's get going. Anyway, my name is Lisa. I'm a parenting coach. If you go to my website, Wagga Wagga. Hello, Elizabeth. Wagga Wagga, Australia. Anyway, where was I? Sidetracked by where you're from. Go to my website, BratBusters.com. You can get my free behavior board when you sign up for my newsletter. You can look into my courses. I have one for toddlers, one for older kids. They're the boot camp courses. If you want to work with me, one-on-one coaching, I will get through the wait list eventually. I might shut down coaching again for a while just so I can get through the wait list. I had to shut it down a while ago too. So, because I don't want people to be on the wait list waiting, but I might shut it down again just because I want to try and get through that wait list. Anyway, so I don't want to keep talking about coaching if I can't even take you on. Sorry about that. I'm just busy right now. So also, you can look into our podcast. My daughter and I do it together. It's called BratBusters Parenting Podcast. And we talk about parenting. We answer your questions on there. And if you get a DM from me, or if anyone ever answers, or if you see anything from me on like in social media, that's my daughter. She works with me. She does all the marketing, all the social media. Okay. Yeah, this is tricky. This is from Diane. What to do when it's physically impossible to just take the child and put in the car, bring back to bed when she is flailing about and you have a bad back. Yeah, that's really tricky. So what you do is just wait it out. You can just stand there, hold on to an arm if you have to till they calm down. The thing is, you got to win those battles. There's no easy way to do it. That's the problem. Everyone's thinking, well, what do I do? What's the easy way? There is no easy way. You just can't let them win. So you can stand there completely ignoring them, but hang on to them so they can't run away. And you just look away, waiting for them to calm down. Okay. You want to wait them out. You want to win the battles. It's not easy. I never said it is. Everyone wants to know, what can I say? What's the easy trick? There are no tricks to this. If you want to be a leader for your kids, I talk about calm leadership parenting. If you want to be a leader for your kids, it takes time. Okay. It took time to get where you are, and it's going to take time to get where you want to go, right? There ain't no shortcuts. Okay. What to do with, this is from Increasing Awareness on YouTube. What to do with an ADHD child who's a boy and is very strong-willed but does not listen and follow directions well. He wants to do what he wants to do. Yeah, ADHD doesn't make any difference to me. And strong-willed, yeah. Now, you can be a leader. Like, those are all the kids I worked with. I never had problem getting respect from a child or a teenager. So it's never them. It's always you. Work on your leadership skills. That's all I'm teaching here. Remember, we don't fix kids. We fix and teach parents here. That's all I'm doing. I teach you how to calm down and discipline like it's a business transaction, zero emotions, get it over and done with, and then you start connecting with the kid again. The whole point to this is that you want kids to be self-propelled, self-disciplined, have high self-esteem. You want them to feel like they're in control of their own lives. If they make a poor choice, then you come in with a consequence. I don't want you to raise obedient soldiers. That's not what we're on about. So that's why strong-willed children who want to do what they want, when they want, how they want it, they will learn that they are in control. They just can't make any poor choices, you see? Like, they can't hit people and stuff like that. See where I'm going with this? You want them to feel like they're in control. But that takes time. You know, if you really want to get where I'm teaching it, like with this calm leadership stuff, it takes time because you're basically changing yourself. You're not changing your kids. You lead, they will follow. That children will instinctively follow a leader. They're drawn to a leader. We all are, even as adults. If there's someone that you look up to that makes you feel great, aren't you kind of drawn to that person? That's what I'm teaching here. Leadership. What should I do when my 4-year-old refuses to try new food and wants junk food instead? That's a learned behavior. They're holding out for junk food because you must have given it to them. Yeah, I didn't allow that. Like, we didn't have junk food in our house. So you just have to get rid of all the junk food and say, no, here's all I've got. That's it. Just, you can't let them hold out for the junk food. My mom, we had this neighbor years and years ago. I know they both passed away, the parents. But anyway, because I'm old now, all of my generation, we're the oldest ones usually now. So anyway, the mother phoned my mom. This is back in the day when moms were all home and no one had a car, right? So the dads would come home and then they do the grocery shopping together, whatever. So it was back in the 60s. So my mom had this neighbor, we had this neighbor, and she had this little girl, and she would only eat, the mom phoned like an emergency. Lil, she said to my mom actually did have a car. She said, Lil, are you going grocery shopping today? Or can you do me a favor? Can you run out and get some cheese doodles or whatever? It was cheesies, I think they were, because she won't eat anything but cheesies. This poor kid, all of her teeth, by the time she was 5 or whatever, all of her teeth had rotted out because all she would eat was cheesies. But the mom said she literally will starve to death if I don't give her cheesies. Okay, I doubt that. But anyway, so yeah, you have control over the food. So control it, okay? Is your advice the same for inclusive for neurodivergent children? Yeah, basically it is, but neurodivergent is a very broad term. So I would need to know more, okay? It's a very broad term. And I also think that a lot of people like to label their kids these days. They're neurodivergent, they're ODD, which I don't think is such a thing. Oppositional defiant disorder. Doctors have told me they made that up to make moms feel better. In other words, to let moms off the hook so they never have to discipline. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I don't believe in that. And they say it's not a medical diagnosis at all. ADHD, all that stuff. It's like you're labeling your kids as if they're more difficult. You just have to work on your leadership skills. All those kids, I've worked with all those kids. You know, the exceptions are children who are disabled in some way or mentally challenged or something, or children with autism. That is different. But yeah, that would be coaching. But yeah, it's like you're trying to label your kids as if they're just more challenging. You just work on yourself, okay? Yeah, there are some diagnoses that I do have to take into consideration. But overall, like ADHD is not a medical diagnosis. It sort of, well, I don't know if I shouldn't talk like that because I'm not a medical person. But anyway, yeah, it doesn't make any difference to me. Those are all the kids I learned this with, okay? Do you have sessions for emerging adults? You mean teenagers? I specialize in teenagers and teen crisis work. So, but here's the thing. They have to be living at home and they have to be financially dependent upon you. Those are the two criteria. And it's tough. There's no guarantees with any of this stuff, but it's tough with teenagers because you've had all those years to get where you are. It's really hard to change. It's doable though. But your expectations you have to lower. Parents still want control over their teenagers. You don't do that. You want them to have control over themselves. And anyway, what do I do with my 19-month-old daughter who bites out of fun and excitement? Just say no and then just hold her away. If you have to carry her and she's still biting when she gets excited, face her away from you, carry her that way. So just say no and then just keep redirecting, If it's just out of excitement, she'll eventually learn. By the way, if you ever have any questions, we've done, I don't know how many are posted, but we've got 100 podcasts now that we've done. And if you look up podcasts like BratBusters Parenting Podcast, and you look up a topic, we've got a whole bunch of topics in there. It's a really good library for information. And also you can go on, just Google BratBusters Toddler Biting. I've got tons and tons of videos out there on any subject that you have questions on, because I've answered these same questions over like thousands and thousands of times. So I've got tons and tons of videos on them. So you might want to check that out, okay? Okay, this is Mandy on, you're my number one, what do they call that? Number one follower on YouTube. Oh, you knocked Tabitha out. Where's Tabitha? She's not here tonight. Okay, this is on YouTube. Mandy, new to your program, did behavior board tonight. Wondered if the consequences like 15 minutes to clean sink, if it stays the same or if we pick from a list, clean sink next time, fit. Okay, yeah, you can change it up however you want. You can surprise them with something new or keep it the same. You can do whatever you want. So it's 15 minutes to do a chore, but the chore should only take like 2 minutes. So you can say, okay, well, I need you to help me pick up 10 toys. So, and it has to be measurable. You can't just say, help me clean up. It has to be pick up 10 toys, clean the sink, not clean the kitchen. It has to be very specific and measurable if possible. Oh yeah, very good. Tiffo Myth on YouTube. With behavior board with 3-year-old, do I always set a timer for the positive consequence? Example, put shoes away within 5 minutes of being home. Yeah, you have to. Otherwise, put shoes away when you get home. What, at midnight? You have to have a set time. It gives them more of a framework. It gives them more direction too. That's what leaders do. They're very clear. It's like if you got a new job, your boss wouldn't say, turn up on Monday. There's a set time. You need to know what's expected and when it's expected. So that's part of leadership. Oh, you have to put the age down. You asked about tantrums. You put an age down. By the way, tantrums is something that comes up all the time, constantly. And I kind of can't always answer those questions over and over again because I can't do it. I would self-destruct. But if you if you just basically Google BratBusters Tantrums, I got thousands of videos on that. So, but yeah, I don't know if I'll have the bandwidth tonight to discuss how you deal with tantrums. We'll see. If I get enough questions about tantrums, I will. It's just because I've been doing these lives for years now, and I just get to the point where I can't say the same thing over and over again. Do you know why I can do it in coaching? It's very different. Coaching is my absolute favorite thing. A lot of my clients say, God, you love what you do, don't you? Yeah, I love coaching. And but it's so personal because it's one-on-one with a parent. So I get attached to them and, it's different. But I don't see your face. I can repeat something over and over again if I can see your face, but lives are different. It's just, I feel like I'm all by myself talking sometimes in a live. I know you're there, but I can't see you. Okay. Okay, I'm going to challenge this. This is Brianna. Having a lot of trouble with my 2-year-old and him not standing/jumping on the couch. He can't understand me yet. And we have been doing the consistent corrective action for a while now. He just has too much fun. He does understand you. He just doesn't agree with you. Okay, so understanding is rarely the problem. They know they shouldn't hit. They know they shouldn't jump on the couch. It's never the understanding. It's the reason why there's not enough reason for him not to do it. Okay. So what I would do is just keep doing what you're doing, consistent corrective action. He's 2 years old. You can't use the behavior board yet. Just pull him off the couch, say no, and then try and redirect him, give him something else to do. If he does have something else to do that he likes, and then he goes to jump on the couch, you take that thing away. I would almost buy him something new to use like that, something you can take away. So make sure it's something you can hold and he'll carry it around. As soon as he starts jumping on the couch with that item, say no and take that away and put it away for a period of time. Put it where he can see it but can't touch it. That's kind of an extra lesson there for him. But yeah, he does understand. How to handle inappropriate comments and cursing. Do you just ignore? No. Depends on, sorry, I don't have an age. I can't answer that. Such a good question. Millie Faye. Do some of your expectations around behavior change for the child depending on their emotional capacity on the day? Absolutely not. No way. I'm under the same law when I go out in the world, regardless of whether or not I'm happy or sad, okay? They've got to learn that the behavior there's a certain expectation of behavior. You can't be rude. You can't be disrespectful. This is as they'll learn eventually. So you got to treat people with respect, stuff like that, no matter how you're feeling, okay? I really hate that. Even some adults will say, oh, well, sorry, I was rude tonight. Sorry, I was just in a bad mood. And I'm like, yeah, well, see you. We won't be friends anymore. Like, I'm not going to put up with that garbage. It's okay if you're quiet, but you see what I mean? So yeah, you want to teach them that in life, they still have to be respectful of other people. So yeah, I don't change that. The only difference is if they're sick or overtired, then you meet their needs first. Okay. And their needs are, when they're sick, you got to care for them. And when they're overtired, you got to get them to bed. So meet their needs and manage their wants. Okay. Flavia, can you please address my question? You have to write it all over again because I don't go backwards. So write it over again and I'll see it. If your name comes up, I'll answer it. And make sure you put an age in there, by the way. What advice mindset can you recommend to develop and maintain a leadership role rather than slipping into old habits? Is there a mantra or something you think of when behavior starts to upset you? Okay. This one, I wish I had a better response to that because I get this in coaching all the time. I sell coaching in 5-session package. Don't look at coaching. I'm full up right now. My wait list is huge. But anyway, I'm just telling you how I deal with parents. So I sell coaching in 5-session packages. My goal is always to wrap everything up in a nice little tight bow in 5 sessions. Now, there's a couple of reasons why most people rehire me. One is they just like the support, which I get, they just want the support. Other ones really struggle with their own emotions and their own mindset. And they often hire me time and time again because they just can't get in the right frame of mind to follow through. They still let their anger get the better of them, et cetera, et cetera. Those are the ones that are just hanging on to their old ways. And I've never come up with a really great, I don't know what to say to them because it is up to them. Like I tell them what to do, but it's up to them to do it. But then I have a lot of encouragement. And sometimes I'll say to someone, I remember once I said to someone, I think it was this saying, I said, when kids feel good, they do good. When they feel bad, they do bad. So the parent said to me after several rounds of sessions, they said, oh my God, I get it now. I want to make them feel good. And they said, well, I wish you'd said that in the first session. So I scrolled back and I had said it in the first session, the 4th session, the 7th session. I'd said it many, many times, but you're not always ready to hear it. That's the thing. So that's why I do get very repetitive. I do often say the same things, but you got to be ready to hear it. You have to be ready to change. And I think that's when everything changes, is when you're really ready. It's not even always as a result of what's going on with the kids. It's something in you says, you know what? I don't want to be a yelling mother anymore. You know what? I don't want to lose my cool. It's you have to be ready for it. And that's something I haven't figured out a way to help you with that. I'm there for support and coaching, and I'm there to tell you it does get better, but you got to go through the storm to get to the rainbow. Usually gets worse before it gets better because the kids say, you think you're changing? Yeah, wait till you see what I got up my sleeve for you. So they often do get worse while you're trying to change. And that makes it really difficult too. It's like, it reminds me of when I used to teach fitness too. And not parents, but people would say to me, yeah, it's easy once I'm here and I'm with you. It's easy to do it. But they said, how do I get myself to the gym? And I said, well, that is your challenge. I can't get you to the gym. Like, this is your challenge. Just make the decision that I'm going to change. It's going to be really difficult, but it's worth it in the end. I want that rainbow, so I'm willing to go through the storm, right? Someone said, is this real? I don't know what we're referring to. Just struck me as funny. Okay. Did you learn your parenting parenting techniques through anyone you looked up to, like your mom, or through educating yourself before or during kids? I was volunteering with kids. I was always mothering everything. And when I was 11, I started volunteering in daycare centers. And that's how I learned all this. I was just kind of good at it. I was good at dealing with difficult kids. I was very fun, but they liked me and they just respected me. So that's how it started. I was 11 and I'm 60, almost 65 now. So it was a long time ago. So yeah, I think I was just always meant to do this, to be honest. My mother, my parents were very calm. I was never yelled at and I always felt heard, always. I felt very respected and very heard my whole life with my parents. My dad died when I was younger, but still. And that's sort of how I like to think I raised my kids. Yeah, I had a different style. Some of the stuff was similar to my mom, but I had a different style, but I still always felt very respected, very heard, and was never yelled at. That gave me a real edge in life. And my mother was my best friend. I told her everything. My kids told me everything. There's a lot of trust there. And my mom she died 9 years ago. She was 93 when she died, and she died in my arms. And her last breath was a laugh. And they do, I don't know if you've ever been with someone who's dying. I'm not trying to be morbid here. It was actually a beautiful goodbye. She was 93. She had dementia. It was, it was time. Anyway, but I said to her, because we'd always laughed and said, well, on her deathbed, we'll have nothing left to say. Because we said, I love you every day. We always said how much we meant to each other. So that's usually what you say on the deathbed, but we'd already said it all every single day. So when she was dying and she's just going out, I don't go into it, but I knew it was going to be one of her last breaths. And I said, I was crying and I said, Mom, you're right. We've got nothing left to say. And then she kind of hiccup laughed and that was her last breath. Isn't that beautiful? What a beautiful goodbye. Very, very lucky. God, I was lucky I was there. I only made it like within 20 minutes. Okay. Okay, good one. This is Sarah. You just didn't put the age last time. So ages 4 to 7. How do you handle inappropriate comments and cursing? Put on the behavior board, no bad words, okay? Or you can put no bad words or no name calling. And then anytime they say anything that's in that realm, you can say, well, I'm going to call it that, right? So, and hinting at cursing is the same thing. If they go, oh yeah, well, FUCW, if they spell it out or do something like that, that is still cursing to me. That's hinting at it or insinuating cursing. So a lot of kids will do stuff like that. Okay. How do you go about, good question. This is Flavia. How do you go about kids 4 and 8 when they do something bad? And, this is the one I was supposed to answer before. Okay. Bad, and you don't have it on the behavior board. For example, they lie or they grab an iPad without permission. Okay, that's session 4. Whenever I'm coaching parents, we do 3 behavior boards, then we go off the boards and we deal with everything. So all the behavior boards they're just I would never use one. It's just your training wheels. You're learning how to lay down rules and consequences so that what happens after those 3 weeks of the first 3 behavior boards, then you deal with everything. You can still use the behavior boards, but if they do something naughty, you say, oh, you lied. I'll tell you what, here's what we're going to do. And you lay down a consequence. You can pull something off the behavior board as a consequence or come up with something different. It's just teaching you how to do it. That's what those behavior boards are just teaching tools. There's no freaking way I would ever use a behavior board. The reason is I want kids looking right at me. So you're giving the behavior board kind of buffers it a little bit. You're giving it some power before you get it. But I already had it. So I didn't want kids looking at a board. But yeah, it's a teaching tool. But then after the 3 weeks, don't do it first though. I would recommend if you're going to follow a program, check out the boot camp course. If you're interested, it's like 5 weeks. The older one is 5 weeks. That's the whole program. What was I going to say? Oh, I was just thinking about something my daughter said about the vet. We're going to be doing some more changes to that course. She keeps coming up with different ideas. She's very creative. My daughter works with me. Anyway, so yeah, the first 3 weeks, you just deal with those 3 specific behaviors. You're learning how to do this. It's all you. You are learning how to do this. Then after in the 4th week, that's when you start dealing with everything. You say, oh, okay, that was a bad thing to do. Here's what we're going to do. You don't have to go to the board anymore. That's when in the first 3 weeks with parents, we do 3 different behavior boards. Not always. Sometimes we don't even do one. It just depends on what's going on. With teenagers, we don't always use behavior boards. Usually we do, but not always. If there's big stuff going on. Just a second. Okay. Just a second. It's my daughter here. Just a second. Doing a live now love you too. Every single day, my daughter writes me, love you so much, Mom, with a heart, every single day. Oh, my son says he loves me too, but he doesn't send me a daily message. Okay, how do you deal with a 5-year-old saying bad words like booty, poop, penis? He thinks it's fine. Okay, you put it on the behavior board, no bad words, and then just have a consequence when he says it. The behavior board is completely free. It's a whole mini course, and it's on my website if you sign up for the newsletter. Go to BratBusters.com. Everything I have is on there. Good response, Mandy. It's on YouTube. So YouTube's still running. Usually it glitches by now because YouTube's not a social media platform. It's a search engine. It's not meant for lives. So it usually glitches by now, but it's still running. Okay. Oh, this is really cute. We took my granddaughter out yesterday, my son and I, and we went to a farm, and she loves animal sound. She's 19, she's 20 months old. So anyway, we take her to this farm, and she loves sheep, and she's always going, ba, ba. Well, she met a sheep in person, and sure enough, it went, ba. It scared the bejeebies out of her. That's the first time she's been making these sounds for so long now, and all of a sudden, a sheep talked back to her, and she scared the heck out of her. But she ended up petting it. Just struck me as funny. She was probably thinking, wow, it really does sound like that. Oh, no, this is cute, Shelby. I have a very observant 1.5-year-old. She stares in public when there's an individual who may look different or by use of mobility equipment. Is this a behavior I should worry about or just educate about differences as she ages? She'll just understand we're all different. So yeah, don't worry about it. No one cares if a baby or a toddler stares at them. They understand that. If you did it, they might be offended. But yeah, nobody cares. Anyone who knows kids doesn't care if a kid just stares, right? I remember I had a friend once, and she was staring at someone who I don't know what they had different dress on or something, or there's something, they were culturally something that this child had never seen before, the headdress and everything. And the child was staring. This is a long time ago. I can't remember exactly what it was, but anyway, the child was just staring. The mom was getting really embarrassed, and the kid was a little bit older, like 3 or 4. And the mom said, "Quit staring." And the person wasn't offended. They just said, "Oh, hello." And the kid said, What are you chewing?" And it was the fact this person was just chewing gum. Like they'd never seen anyone chew gum. I thought that was really cute. It wasn't their headdress or anything they were staring at. That's what the mom thought. But yeah, they're just innocent. So you put it on the behavior board, no name calling. Then what do you do? Check out my behavior board. It's free on my website, and it explains how you do it. Very good point. Yeah, because what I said was, oh, just put down no name calling on the behavior board. That's not all you do. It's pretty stupid of me, isn't it? Anyway, so the behavior board, this is how it goes. And there's a whole mini course on it. It's on my website. It's completely free if you want to check it out. So there's rules and consequences for every member of the family, 3 and above. You're included. Like your rule might be no yelling. If you yell, you get a consequence. It might be you're not allowed to talk at all after dinner, or you can only talk when the kids go like that. Older kids love that one. Or it's usually play hide and seek with the kids. That's your consequence. So then you put down no name calling for the kids. If they do name call, then you go over to the board and you say, okay, so you broke the rule. The rule wasn't, see how I'm talking though? It's your tone and everything is so important. So let me see now on the board, your rule was no name calling, and you name called. Okay, so what I'm going to get you to do, and there's 2 consequences for the kids. There's only one for you because you're going to do it, and the kids won't necessarily do this first one. You always start with the kid's consequence as a positive action. It's usually do a chore within 15 minutes of being asked to do so. If they won't do that, then it's a negative deprivation. Something like this, 24-hour media blackout. So you start with trying to get them to do a good deed. If they won't do that, then you do the deprivation. You take something away, okay? So, and you give them 15 minutes to do, the chore should only be about 2 minutes. The reason you give them 15 minutes to do it is you want them to be able to tantrum, scream, yell, procrastinate. You want to give them time to have a fit, and you want to look like this. Like you've just got the 15-minute timer, you're like this. You're just a timekeeper. You might be doing the dishes, but you're not looking at them. You're not talking to them. You're just waiting for them to do that chore. You are a timekeeper and nothing else. look like you're just, let them decide whether or not they do that consequence or not. You never micromanage your kids. You want them to have self-discipline. You don't want to be disciplining your kids forever. Okay, I'm going to move over to Instagram now if you want to join me over there. It's the same, BratBusters Parenting. And anyway, if not, check out my website, BratBusters.com. You can see my free behavior board, which you get through my newsletter when you sign up. Or you can look into my courses. I have 2 of them, boot camp courses, one for toddlers, one for older kids. They're very different the way they're set up. Toddlers, you're just reacting to what they do, what they come up with. The other one's very different. It's a 5-week plan. And then you can look into coaching if you want. It's got a really big wait list, but I will get through it eventually. And also you can look into our podcast. It's called BratBusters Parenting Podcast. My daughter and I do it together. She works with me. She does all my marketing, all my planning, and she also runs the podcast. So I just do what she tells me to do, basically. And so we're having a lot of fun with that. We just finished filming our 100th episode. So, and it's really good because you can look up something. Like, I don't listen to podcasts. I don't know much about them, but you can look up, evidently, like we're on all the platforms. And if you want to watch us, you can see it on YouTube. But you can look up like a topic on the podcast. So if you want to know about tantrums, we'll probably have done a whole episode on tantrums. So anyway, okay, so I'm going to be hopping over to Instagram now. Happy parenting. And I stay on YouTube. Stop therapy. That's cute, Mindy. I'm not a replacement for therapy, but if you're looking for parenting answers, it might help. Okay, I'm just waiting for Instagram to turn up now. They turn up in one big clump. It's really weird. Like everyone turns up in one clump. No other platform does that. Wish I knew why. Because it doesn't make any sense. Not everyone's sitting there waiting to see a live. Yeah, so like 100 people are there right away. Okay. I was just saying, I don't know why on Instagram everyone turns up in a big clump all together. It's the only platform that does that. Okay, so I'm just going to get going with the live. I'm on YouTube the whole time whenever I'm doing it, and I hop from Facebook to Instagram to TikTok. And now I'm on Instagram. Anyway, welcome to the live. My name's Lisa. I'm a parenting coach. If you check out my website, it's BratBusters.com. You can get my free behavior board when you join my newsletter. It's a mini course. It also has a toddler section on there too, because the behavior board doesn't start until 3 years old. You're on there too, by the way. That's what makes it work. Anyway, or you can look at my boot camp courses. I have 2 of them, one for toddlers, one for older kids. And then you can also look into coaching if you want. I do have a big wait list, but I will get to it eventually. And also the podcast. My daughter and I do that together. It's called BratBusters Parenting Podcast. We're on all the platforms. And we also film them, if you want to watch us do it, on YouTube. I'm a real YouTube watcher, but I got addicted to TikTok. Oh my God, it's so addictive. So I'm going to try and get away from it for a while. Oh, hi, Tabitha. Where you been? Tabitha just turned up on my live on YouTube. Sorry, she's a regular. That's why. Okay. Okay, this is such a good point. I'm so glad you brought this up. This is J.W. Thomas. How much do you feel a grandparent can say when the parents are doing too much gentle parenting? I don't comment on that specifically, but here's the thing. None of your business. I'm a grandmother, and there's no freaking way I would give any unsolicited advice. And I'm a parenting coach. So yeah, I never have. I've never given unsolicited advice. Like if I had a friend who was overweight, I would never give her dieting advice either. See what I mean? Unsolicited advice is nothing but criticism, and it's rarely taken well. So yeah. Yeah, I don't give any advice. And I'm very lucky. I love the way my son and his wife are parenting. They're great parents. But even if they weren't doing everything I like, there's no freaking way I would say anything. My job is there to care for my granddaughter and support them. That's my job. That's my job. If they complain to you, things aren't going very well, you might say, oh, I came across, this video one day. You see, that's maybe I would do that, but don't look like you've got it in your back pocket. Oh, I got this video. You know what I mean? Yeah. Any unsolicited advice is basically criticism. Like I said, I would never offer a dieting plan to an overweight friend in the front of helping. See what I mean? or that I meant well. That's all passive aggressive stuff. Well, how do we deal with the why? A question for everything with a 3-year-old. There's 2 different reasons why they ask why. One is they're genuinely curious. And then I might say, well, I don't know. Like, let's look it up together. Let's, whatever. And the other one is they're trying to change your mind. Like, no, you can't do that. But why? But why? I would just say, I said no, and that's it. I won't be discussing it. And then I shut it down. And I change the subject. I control the narrative. I don't let them. If they're trying to manipulate me with the word why, I control the narrative. I take over. Sorry, I'm skipping through a lot of questions. One of the reasons is that I do answer a lot of the same questions over and over again. And for my own mental health, I have to mix it up because, I go a little bit squirrely if I'm saying the same answers all the time. Not to say that the question isn't valid and a good one. It's just that if it's come up a lot recently, I have to skip it. And also, most of the questions are around discipline, understandably so. But that's not what I teach, really. Discipline is a part of it, but I teach how to connect with your kids. Fun is their love language. The more you connect in their world, the less disciplining you'll have to do. Okay, I'm going to read out my top 5 tips for parenting toddlers, because most of you have toddlers on here usually on a live. When I'm coaching, most parents have older kids, but in the lives, it's a lot of toddler parents. Okay, these are my top 5 tips for parenting toddlers. This is the discovery stage. Okay, number 1, child-proof your home so you never have to say no. Number 2, set up a toy rotation system so they're never bored. Number 3, connect with toddlers in their world, not your world. In other words, you don't take them to the nail salon with you. You go to the park and roll down the hill with them. Number 4, you discipline toddlers in their world, not your world. It's not about words. These mini therapy sessions discussing all their big feelings and emotions, it's absolute garbage. That is for you. That is not for your toddler. They are about actions. You use consistent corrective actions. If they hit, you say no, and you remove them from the fun or remove fun from them for a period of time. They are not about words. These mini therapy sessions drive me freaking insane. They're just so ignorant. They don't work. They're very self-serving. They make you feel good, but they're not for your child at all. Number 5, stop trying to figure them out. Toddlers are not figure-outable. They're brand new, fresh human beings. They've only been in the world for a couple of years. Imagine in the first year, they were a potato laying on a mattress. They don't have a lot of experience yet, so don't try and figure them out. Okay. You've discussed a lot about behavior correctness, super helpful. What age should that be applied? Okay, under the age of 3. So babies are just diversion usually. You might say a gentle no, and then you divert their attention away from the bad behavior. Toddlers are 16 to 35 months. That's when they kind of are learning right from wrong. They usually kind of know when they're doing something wrong. So at that stage, it's consistent corrective action. So under that, you're teaching them right from wrong, then you're correcting. And then 3 and above, you want them to self-correct. That is the behavior board. So that's how it's done. I make it sound easy. It is easy when you're good at it. It's very easy. And also getting respect is hard work though, but maintaining it's a piece of cake. Whenever someone argues with me in coaching or just really is adamant that their kid is different, they're really difficult, those are all the kids I learned this with. The standard thing I ask them is I say, how do you think they'd be with me? If you gave them to me for a day or two, do you think they'd respect me? And not one person has ever argued that. They say, yeah, they probably would. So remember, that is your power. When you set yourself up as a leader, they will follow. They will respect you. I just teach leadership here. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. Do you do your own paintings in the back? Oh, I just put some burlap on some canvas because I did do some painting before. It was horrendous. So I just did that because it's not identifying too. Like I've got lots of pictures of my granddaughter around my apartment, but nowhere where anyone can see her. So I don't know what to put up there. I'm lousy at pictures. Is there a top 5 list for 7 to 10-year-olds? Would love help connecting with my son. Oh, good question. I should have that. You know what's funny is I have my top 5 tips for parenting toddlers, my top 5 tips for parenting teens, but nothing in between. Why? I don't know. Okay, so let me read the parenting teens one, and some of it's in there, not all of it. But number 1 is when you want to connect, this is any age actually, above 3. You listen to understand and show empathy. You don't listen to gather information to lecture with. Like even with a young child, If they were telling me a problem, I wouldn't say, here's what you do. I would say, ooh, that would be frustrating. So you listen to understand. And then you say, what are you going to do about it? Or you'd say, what do you think you should do? Or I remember that happened to me. But don't tell them what to do. You don't solve their problems. You build them up to solve their own problems. You listen to understand and show empathy. You don't listen to gather information to lecture it. That's really important. The second one is not so much with younger kids. Okay. The fourth one with teenagers, you can apply to 7 to 10-year-olds. Don't leverage the good times to discuss the bad times. Lots of times they'll teach parents how to connect with their kids. Then they want to talk about all the bad behavior their kids did. When do you discuss bad behavior? Never. Okay, what's the point? I was just rubbing it in. Anyway, use the behavior board. Now, the reason is the behavior board's really powerful is because you're on there too. You've got to give respect to get it, okay? Like leaders you don't want to be the authority. You don't want to just command respect. You don't want to, demand respect. You don't want them to look up to you, really. You kind of do, but it's mutual. You don't want to disappoint them and you don't want them to disappoint you. It's mutual. Everything's mutual with kids. You are the leader though. I'm going to tell you a cute story. I was always the one in trouble with my kids because they were really well behaved, but I'd forget stuff. And anyway, remember, this is one of my favorite stories with them. They were 8 and 3 years old. My son's the older one. He was always the spokesperson. And they would discuss stuff, but then he was the spokesperson. So I remember once they said, Mom, and I hate cooking. God, I hate cooking so much. And I made everything from scratch. I was really a health food nut. Anyway, oh God, I hate cooking. I cook with hate. I really hate it. I love cleaning though. So go figure. Anyway, I'm very homey, but I just hate cooking. So anyway, they said to me, Mom, can you please make muffins tonight? And I said, sure. I don't even know why they'd want my muffins. They were all healthy, weird things. But anyway, can you please make muffins? I said, sure. Of course I forgot. And the next day they said, oh, Mom, you forgot to make muffins. I said, oh, shoot. Sorry about that. I promise tonight I'll make muffins. They both looked at each other like this. And I said, I promise. And they, Anyway, so the next morning they get up and they come in the kitchen. And this is my daughter's face. This is my son. And I thought, oh no, I'm in trouble. So I said, what? What did I do? And my son said, remember last night you said, I promise I'll make muffins? And he says, I don't see no muffins. So I said, shoot, what do you want? And they said, we've discussed it. And my daughter's loving this, right? She's all happy. And he says, we've discussed this and we've decided we'd like to go to the water slide park after school. So you see, I messed up. I made a promise. I broke it. So I had to make amends. I was accountable too. I was always the one messing up, not them. But I was very much the leader, if that makes any sense. I was also the goofy, crazy parent. For sure, I'm the nutcase in the family. So you can still be fun and crazy, but still be a leader. And anyway, so yeah, it was one of my favorite stories. They loved it when I messed up because there was something in it for them. Okay, this is a very good question. It comes up a lot. As Tylene, what do you do if they break the rule again during the 24-hour blackout? There's nothing you can do. Your hands are tied. But what you do say, maybe once or twice, is, well, that's why you chose the blackout. In other words, it was up to them. So you can just remind them, there's nothing else you can do. Say, well, that's why you chose the blackout. That's what got you into this mess, kind of thing. Don't go on about it. You're investing in tomorrow. Everyone wants to fix everything today. You're not. You're investing in tomorrow. They'll think twice before they do it again. Okay. But in that 24-hour period, they know they've got free reign, right? Anyway, this was really cute. One of my clients had a 7-year-old little boy, and he'd had 24-hour media blackout, and he loved his, I don't know, Switch or PlayStation or one of those game console things. He loved it. Well, he got it back. He didn't know the mom could hear him. He got it back, and he sat down in his chair, and he looked at the screen because he got it back after a whole day. And then he said to himself, he says, well, I won't be doing that again. So there you go. Isn't that cute? He learned his lesson. I thought that was really cute. And everything started to get easier after that. They start to understand it's their choice. It's not my choice. It's their choice. I don't choose to act out. I don't choose to not do the first consequence. I don't choose to get media blackout. That's your choice, kiddo. That's on you. That's why my kids said they felt like they had control over their own lives. They knew that everything was their choice, but if they made a poor one, mom would come in with a consequence, right? That's my job. I used to tell my kids, if you're good, life is good. If you're bad, life ain't so good. I'll make sure of that because I'm your mom and that's my job. So it's my job to teach them, to guide them in the right direction. But it's their job to make the choice to go in the right direction. You do not want obedient soldiers because they're going to rebel when they're teenagers. You don't want obedience. You want self-discipline. You want pride, high self-esteem in your kids, right? That's what guides them into making good choices. It's not you're telling them what to do. That's ridiculous. It's horrible. I wouldn't want that. Okay, well, this is a very good question. My granddaughter, who is 5, is very interested in knowing about people who have passed away. How much information is enough? Well, we don't know what happens. So you just say, well, I don't know. Their body's finished, like they're not there anymore. It's just a body. Their personality's gone. And but just say, well, I don't know where they've gone. Nobody really knows. I always wonder about people who say they know stuff like that. Unless you've died and come back, you can't tell me, So yeah, just say you don't know. It's great to say you don't know. You can say, well, some people believe this, some people believe that. But yeah, I would say their personality's gone. You may see them again one day. They may be watching over you. You can say all sorts of stuff. I used to tell my kids stuff like that. Like, I like to think they're watching over me, but nobody really knows. And we've all had weird stuff happen too. Like, I can't remember what I had. Not with my mom, which is funny. My dad died when I was 14, and I had one really weird thing happen, like he was there, and it freaked me out. Anyway, but I've never had that with my mom, and I almost wonder if it's because it was so traumatic and horrible when my dad died when I was 14. Like, I just didn't deal with it very well. It was horrendous. And so maybe he came back to sort of soothe me or something. I don't know. But at 93, my mom died in my arms. I mean, everything was already tied up in a nice bow. So I don't know. I like to tell kids maybe that's possible. So yeah, I'm pretty open with kids. But I also don't pretend to know something I don't know. I don't know the first part of your question, Kim, but it says, if I walk away to remove the fun, she is so hurt. I'm the nan. Who cares if they're hurt? That's okay. They chose that. They hurt themselves. If they do something naughty, they've actually hurt themselves. It's okay that they learn a lesson. You're not walking away and never seeing them again. You're walking away for just a few minutes, right? It's okay that they're more mad usually, but yeah, that's okay. They'll learn that they did that. She did that to herself. You didn't do that to her. What about mildly autistic children? Any kid on the spectrum, that would be coaching one-on-one with me. I can't generalize because they're all so different, right? And I always say with kids on the spectrum, it's just throwing mud at the wall and seeing what sticks. But I need to know what's sticked and what hasn't in the past, or what's stuck or hasn't in the past too. I need a bit of history with that. He said, I'm having trouble with my 3-year-old wanting a bottle. Just don't give it to them. So I don't understand that. You're having trouble saying no to a 3? Yeah, just say, no, you're too big for that. And then let the scene happen. Everyone wants to say, well, how do I avoid a scene? You don't. Their fit scenes, meltdowns, and tantrums are them processing the word no. It's them processing they can't get what they want, when they want, and how they want it all the time. That's okay. Everyone's trying to avoid the scene. The scene is the lesson. That's the gold in all this. You want to go through that. You want them to get upset. And don't get involved in their scene. You let them do that all by themselves. That is their brain processing. They're not in charge, right? Everyone's trying to avoid the scene all the time. But don't. That's the lesson. My son, he's got some interesting ways of dealing with my granddaughter, stuff I didn't do. And it's really working well. I won't go into it because I don't teach that. But yeah, and it works with her personality. She's very analytical like he was. And so it works really well with her. But I'm not sure if it would work with every kid. That's why I wouldn't teach it. But yeah, he's developed his own style with her. It's quite cute. And yeah, he was telling me all about it. We had her out at this farm yesterday, and he was telling me all about this. It's cute. He's doing very well. They're great parents. And she is a mummy's girl. She is a mama's girl. Mama is everything. Like we always say, if mama walks in the room, we're all invisibles. She's very lucky. She's got very loving parents and lots of family around who love her. Okay, I can't really answer this. You said, how do I get my 3-year-old to want to use the potty? You can't. You can teach them how to use it. I have got a whole course on that if you're interested. It's in both of my boot camp courses. It's a mini course within the big boot camp courses because it's a whole system how you potty train. I can't just give you a tip on how to potty train. It's a whole system. But yeah, you can't, you don't always, that's interesting. That's a pleaser parent statement. How do I get them to want to do something? No, you just get them to do it anyway. I don't want to pay taxes, but I do it anyway. It's okay that they learn to do what they don't want to do. Okay. That's important. I don't want them to want to do everything. I want them to not want to do it and do it anyway. That's self-discipline. So. It's like, yeah, I know that's the real pleaser style. Not necessarily you're like that, but the pleaser style is they want to make everything fun for kids, which is just awful. Because when you grow up, not everything's fun. Those are the kids who grow up to be self-entitled snowflakes with mental health issues, because paying rent isn't fun. Having to wait in a lineup isn't fun, because they're used to their parents just, paving the way for them. They're the parents that go into school and tell the teachers what their kids want, and they want special treatment for their kids. And, you're just not doing them any favor. You're not preparing them for reality. So they have a lot of problems when they're adults. But you just said you don't want to teach them to be obedient. Okay. So what did I say that was a contradiction? It may have seemed that way, but I'll probably have a response to that. Kay Lamb, you just said you don't want to teach them to be, no, I want to teach them to make good choices. Like, here's right and here's wrong. So you can choose either path. So, but when they do the wrong one, then you have a consequence. But we're all like that. I'm not obedient because I'm paying taxes. You see, I'm just doing the right thing. There's a difference there. So is that, did I answer that? I'm not sure. You just said they should want, no, I didn't say they should want to do the right thing. They just do it anyway. Yeah. Like I said, I don't want to pay taxes, but I do it because it's the right thing to do. See the difference? You don't always do what you want to do. Like, I hate cooking and I hate grocery shopping, but I do it. See what I mean? The behavior board. It's on my website. If you go, I'm going to look it up myself just so I can tell you. I never go on my website. My daughter does all that. What did she do here? Okay, it's the very top thing. If you go on my website, BratBusters.com, it says at the very top, I live downtown. It's in black, and it says free BratBusters behavior board plus toddler basics, get access. It's a blue button you push. It's at the very top of my website. That's the behavior board. And it is a mini course, so you have to sign up to get that. Did you know you can't send people something if they just ask for it? You have to ask permission to send it to them. As a business, you can't do that. Yeah, you have to sign up and give permission and all that. I remember 20 years ago that was happening when I first started my business. Like, you can't just collect emails and send stuff out. You have to agree to be sent stuff. Oh, that's so cute. This is Emma. I tried your parking lot tip tonight with my 2.5-year-old while we were at a restaurant. Came back in almost immediately. It worked. Oh, good for you. I always say, I give the advice, you do the work. Good for you. Pat yourself on the back. You followed through. The key is to stay calm. Raising self-entitled snowflakes, like you say. Yeah, self-entitled snowflakes. Imagine if someone was paving the way for you all your life, making everything easy, going and solving all your problems. Wouldn't adulthood be really difficult to cope with? Wouldn't it be impossible? Yeah, you're not doing your kids any favor trying to make their life easy. I always say, your home life, I always told my kids, home life, wonderful. We had a great time. We had a great relationship. It was fun. And I said, but you go out in the world, I'm not going to be solving all your problems. You got to figure it out yourself. I'm here to discuss it with, and I'm here to maybe give you some ideas. But yeah, you gotta learn how to get along in the world. Oh, this is good. I love hearing this. I really appreciate your content. That's not what I love hearing. Feeling more confident every time I listen to you. I'm here to empower you. Hopefully, you're not alone, by the way. If you're struggling with your kids, believe me, you're not alone. I'm here to empower you and give you more confidence so that you can move forward with this. That's my goal, anyway, is I want you to enjoy parenting. I don't just want you to raise good kids. That's great, too. And you want to raise nice kids. But that's not really what I'm here for. I'm here so that you enjoy parenting. And then if you do, generally your kids are going to be nice. You see, I'm here for you, not for your kids. Does that sound kind of weird? I teach parenting, not kidding. Okay, I have to move over to TikTok now. If you want to join me over there, it's BratBusters Parenting. I'm on YouTube the whole time whenever I'm doing a live, and I flip from Facebook to Instagram to TikTok. Anyway, thanks very much for joining me. Go to my website, BratBusters.com. You can get my free behavior board. Someone just asked about it. The behavior board is at the very top of my website. It says free BratBusters behavior board, and you click the blue button that says get access. So that's at BratBusters.com, or else you can scroll. I don't know what's on my website. I know my daughter's done all this, but I never look at anything online like that. So anyway, she does it all. If you go in there, you can also check out my boot camp courses. I know there's one for toddlers, one for older kids. You can also look into coaching. I do have a big wait list right now, but I'll get through it eventually. Or you can listen to our podcast. It's called BratBusters Parenting Podcast. It's on all the platforms, and it's saved on YouTube if you want to watch us. And anyway, thanks so much for joining me. I'm going over to TikTok now. Happy parenting. Okay, that was 10 buttons. It was 11. Every time I go from Instagram to TikTok, it changes how many buttons I have to push. Why is that? Okay, I'm on TikTok now. Am I? Am I on TikTok? Yeah, I am, because I can't see. Yeah, I am. Okay. And YouTube hasn't glitched tonight. Usually when I've been doing lives, YouTube's been glitching and stopping, but it's been good tonight, so I'm happy about that. YouTube's the hardest one to set a live up with. You have to type stuff in, and it takes the longest. Okay, so I'm just waiting for people to turn up. TikTok's slow to people to turn up. I love you in technology. My daughter and I, she was rolling her eyes at me. She was trying to explain WhatsApp to me. She was just, she does not like teaching me technology. She gets really annoyed. I don't blame her. It's like me years ago trying to explain emails to my mom. She lived in Canada and I was in Australia for 20 years. And we used to write by hand every single day. We journaled our days, writing to each other. And then email came out, and I was trying to explain it to her, and she goes, well, no, I like, how did she word it? She couldn't understand that. She goes, no, I like our letters. And I said, Mom, it is letters. It's the delivery system that's different. My God, it took forever to teach that to her. And I was rolling my eyes like crazy. And it so reminds me of my daughter trying to show me WhatsApp. It's annoying trying to teach us all these new tricks. Okay, welcome to my live. I'm here on TikTok now, and I'm on YouTube the whole time whenever I'm doing a live. And I bounce from Facebook to Instagram to TikTok. Anyway, thanks for joining me. My name's Lisa. I'm a parenting coach. If you go to my website, it's BratBusters.com. I'm looking at it right now because someone asked me how you get the behavior board. They can never find it. It's at the very top of my website in the black line. And it says free behavior board, get access, blue button that you have to push. Anyway, you can get that if you want. It has the behavior board. Also, it's a mini course. It also has some toddler basics in there. So it's a mini course. Anyway, it's completely free. Or you can look into my boot camp courses. I have one for toddlers, one for older kids. You can look into coaching one-on-one with me. I am booked up right now. I'll get through the wait list eventually. So sorry about that. If it might take a month or two. I don't know. Anyway, and also you can look into our podcast. My daughter and I do it together. It's called BratBusters Parenting Podcast. We just finished our 100th episode. I don't know if they're all published yet, but we just finished our 100th episode. And we started a year ago. I think we started last September. So we're really enjoying it. We're doing 2 a week and having a lot of fun with it. Anyway, I'm here to answer your questions and also talk about some other stuff. And because everyone asks me about discipline, but that's a tiny part of what I teach. I'm really about connecting with kids. The more connected you are with them in their world, the more likely they are to kind of want to please you. And they just have higher self-esteem. They tend to want to do good. They tend to want to make good choices. So your connection is really your superpower. What's the podcast? It's called BratBusters Parenting Podcast. It's on all the platforms, and you can see it if you want on YouTube because we film ourselves while we're doing it. And we do edit. My daughter does all that. She does all the marketing, all the social media, all the planning. If you ever get a response from us, it'll be her. And yeah, she does all that. She sends me stuff that, that she might not know how to, like, if it's not a standard answer, but I don't do any DMs or anything. She does all that. So yeah, she's my daughter, so she knows me very well. But we don't work together. Like the only thing we do together is the podcast. Otherwise, we never see each other like work-wise. So that's why the podcast is so much fun, because it's the only thing we do together. Someone said, thoughts on a floor bed. I don't know what a floor bed is, so I can't answer that. I don't know what you're referring to. Okay, this is such a good question. And this is where the acting comes in. How do you reconnect after discipline without seeming like you've forgotten the action they did? Seeming like you've forgotten, without seeming like you've forgotten. You want to seem like you've forgotten. Once you've disciplined, forget it. Check out the pool story. If you Google BratBusters pool story, that explains that. So you discipline, then you connect. Like that bad thing never happened. So you got to let it go. Everyone wants to hold on to the anger, they want to discuss the bad behavior. They want to lecture their children. Good luck with that. Absolutely pointless. Pointless. And it just makes everything worse. That where you put your energy and your focus is what grows. So if you're discussing bad behavior, it will grow and grow and grow and get worse and worse and worse. I don't discuss it. I deal with it. Like, that was bad. Here's your consequence. Now, do you want to go to the park? It's pretty much how it's done. I still don't know what you're talking about with the crib bed. So I don't want to comment on it because I can't envision it. So my daughter is 3.5 and does not want to sleep in her bed. Sleep training didn't work. So you tried my bedtime battles method? Is that what you're referring to? I don't refer to sleep training. I have a bedtime battles method. It's in my courses. You might want to check that out if you want to look into it. But yeah. So I don't know what kind of sleep training you've done. I've been hired by people who've done lots of different sleep training methods, and then they've tried the bedtime battles course. It is different. But, and also I want to say this too. There's not one type of parenting advice out there. Like, if I don't resonate with you, just tune me out, just get rid of me, because this may not work for you. It may not work for everybody. I think it's great, but there might be something else that works for you. So if you've tried sleep training with someone else and it didn't work, my method still may not work. I don't know. If it doesn't resonate with you, if you're not on board with what I'm teaching, it's not going to work. So, but yeah, everyone's different. There's lots of different methods out there, lots of different styles. Find one that works for you. Someone asked me a while ago, they said, well, how would you respond when someone asked you about someone else's parenting advice? Why on earth would I do that? I don't know anyone else out there, by the way. I'm very careful. I've never looked at another parenting coach or anything. I don't know what anyone else is teaching, because kids taught me all this. I've never read a book or anything on parenting. But there's lots of different styles. You find what works for you. My style is very direct. It's no nonsense. I lead with a lot of goofiness and fun, because fun is their love language. Kids love language. So it might not be your style, though. Oh, I appreciate your support. Thank you. Oh, you're very welcome. Is it Tegan? You're very welcome. I always say I give the advice, but you're the ones who do all the work. Pat yourself on the back. Take yourself out for coffee. Celebrate, because it is hard. It's hard work, but it's worth it. Anything worthwhile should be hard. I don't want anything handed to me for free. I once said that, and I said, like, I wouldn't want to win lotto, and then I took that back. I said, I have to actually I never buy tickets, but you know what I mean. I don't mind working for the good stuff. I'm happy to do that. Luck is fine too, but I think it's sort of more rewarding when you have to work for it. Oh, this is cute. My 2-year-old daughter loves the foot phone. Need more connecting ideas. LOL. Yeah, one of my clients, or it might have even been someone on live. No, it was a client. They did the foot phone. So their kid was just acting out, being a bit snotty, right? Little kid. And the mom said, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to call grandma and see how she feels about this or something like that. And they picked up the kid's foot and said, hi, grandma, used her foot as a phone. And it just lightened the mood. I did a lot of stuff like that, like just goofy stuff. Kids love that stuff. Another thing, I'm too embarrassed to show you. But yeah, I do weird stuff with kids. I'll do anything to shake things up, to sort of go, oh, just something weird I'll do. Like, I don't want to get into it. It's too embarrassing. It's funny. I'm very, very different around kids. Like I have no dignity or anything around kids. Around adults, I'm a bit more, it's a bit embarrassing. Yeah, kids love silly. They just love it. Also, when they see you, and this is interesting too, because I've worked with hundreds of kids, and usually it was in a classroom, like in the back of the class, looking after the kids who were, a handful. And I always treated the kids like I was on their team. The teacher was separate. So I always treated the kid like we were together, because they loved that. It just made them feel, remember, kids used to say stuff like this. They said, I always felt like you had my back. Like if the teacher, I often got in trouble because I talk a lot in class. So the teacher would say, Mrs. Bunnage, how many times do I have to ask you to keep your voice down? And then I'd say to the kid, oh, I just got in trouble again. They love that when they feel like you're on their team. That's what you want to be with your kids. You don't want to seem like you're the authority and they're the kid. You want to look like you're working this out together. Kids love that. They loved it when I said stuff like that. Oh, I just got in trouble again. You see, you want to make them feel like they're important. Like I don't know how to explain that really well, but yeah. I guess you want to enjoy your kids. They know when you're enjoying their company. And that's what the connecting is all about. It's not just about taking them somewhere and applauding when they're doing stuff on. It's about enjoying them. Find a way to enjoy being with them. Nothing makes a person feel better than when they're enjoyed, right? So, yeah, that I think that's what it was, and that kids knew I liked them. I liked being with them, and it makes a big difference. It's like that example I often use, like a 5-year-old little boy. And you say to him, and praise is okay, but it's overused. Kids don't care about it really. So you praise them, you're wonderful, you're special, you can do anything you want. And then you say, I'm going to go do the dishes now. This is that kid's face. You say to that same kid, hey, what are you doing? Can I play too? Watch him light up. Praise is okay, but don't use it instead of play. Play and fun and connecting, and that's their love language. It's ours too, really. What advice do you have for a daycare educator? 0. I'm not a daycare. I know nothing about daycare. I only teach parenting. So, and there's lots of different things. Like a lot of my clients are teachers, principals, child psychologists. I couldn't do their jobs, but they struggle with parenting like I would struggle with their jobs. You know what I mean? It's different. So some stuff does cross over, but a lot doesn't. Like a reward chart at school is fantastic. Rewarding for good behavior, wonderful. At home, total disaster. Huge disaster. I would never use a reward chart. A behavior, never. I think it's horrible. It's like saying you're normally rotten. If you should happen to be good, you'll get a gold star. You see? Imagine if your husband or wife had a reward chart for you. If you have a good day, you'll get a gold star. It's patronizing. It's mean. Whereas in a classroom, it's not personal. All the 30 kids are on there. It's very personal at home. That's the difference. Parenting is personal. Teaching, principling, child psychology, those are businesses. It's not personal. It's just different. I don't even know what to say to this, Papa. My kids told me I'm mean tonight. They scream and want to sleep in our room, not theirs. So, like, they'll say anything to get what they want. I hate you. You're mean to me. You make me feel bad. And if you know you're doing the right thing and you don't yell at them and you play with them, so you're meeting all their needs, and then they say stuff like that, just go, whatever. I hate you. You're mean. Whatever. Yeah. You're allowing them to control you. But a lot of the parents have guilt because they know they don't play with their kids enough. So they do feel that they're not connected enough. So the connection comes first, the discipline comes after. My 4-year-old ADHD combined type refuses to listen no matter the technique. Yeah, well, those are all the kids I learned this with. I've never had a problem getting respect with kids. Work on your leadership skills, and they usually follow along. And you got to keep listening. It's a whole package. You can check out my courses if you want. It's a whole system. You can't just get one piece of advice from me and everything's going to be great. It's a whole system. You get the idea after you follow for a while. It's a lifestyle, basically. It's like dieting. I don't really believe in dieting. It's a lifestyle. Fitness, health, it's a lifestyle. And parenting is more of a lifestyle. It's not something you just fix. And, what's that one tip that'll change everything? There is no such thing. I've been working out my whole life and I'm still learning stuff about fitness, and every day I learn something new about fitness. So it's something that you're always learning. There's no quick fix or quick tip. Someone asked me a while ago, what's my fitness goal? I'm almost 65. I'm almost 65 now. My fitness goal is to hang on to what I've got. That's all I'm doing. I'm sliding down the other side of the hill at this point. Yeah, I'm just hanging on to anything I've got. Okay, my 9-year-old has begun hurting her, so she's self-harming. We've been to counseling for years. Yeah, that would be coaching. I don't know. And I'm not a professional, like I'm not a counselor. I don't talk to kids, but I do deal with parent-child relationships, and that's a lot of what I deal with. I call that in the crisis work if they're self-harming, especially if they've been in therapy for years. So I don't know what's going on, but I'd have to assess that. That would be coaching. So you can look on my website if you want to work with me. I do have a big wait list, but I don't pick and choose anymore. Sometimes I will. I used to say, if you're going through crisis, then I will put you at the front of the list. I can't, I've got too many people waiting. So I'm just sort of taking them as they come. Sometimes I won't take people because just certain situations I don't want to deal with. I don't really want to say what that is, but yeah, like if it's really messy and it's not something I think I want to get involved in, like legal stuff, no, I won't get involved in that. I just teach parent-child relationships. This is cute. Yes, I'm doing yoga just to keep what I have at 82. Good for you. Yeah, I'm 65 or almost 65, and it's a whole different ballgame at this age. Oops. Sorry, I have a hard time reading on TikTok. The letters are really light, and it's just kind of hard to read. Okay, this is NeuroJ12 on YouTube. Can't believe I caught alive. Okay, welcome. My 6-year-old daughter is an only child, and during teeth brushing, I just can't get her to not stall. I've been setting a timer, but I don't know if that's right. You can set a timer, but there's got to be a consequence if she doesn't follow it, right? Check out my free behavior board. It's on my website, and it teaches you how to, like I would say, brush your teeth within 5 minutes of being asked to do so, or something like that. If she doesn't, there's a consequence. So check that out. There's lots of different ways about that. The problem with that is that you need her to brush her teeth. She might not care about the consequence. So she might just say, fine, I won't brush my teeth then. So you got to be careful with that. What I might do with her is, let's say she likes the iPad every night. I'd say, sure, you can have the iPad for, let's say, 30 minutes tonight, right after you've brushed your teeth. So you could use that like she was already going to get it. You're not rewarding her, but you're just withholding what she wants until she brushes her teeth. That's another way of doing it. I got lots of different ideas, but that's another way of doing it. Or you can just use the standard behavior board and just put down, brush your teeth within 5 minutes being asked to do so. If she doesn't, there's a consequence. And that's all explained on the behavior board. It's at BratBusters.com. Are you Lisa Bunnage? Yes, I am. that not say it? Yeah, it says it at the top. Am I on the right channel? Yeah, I must be. Yeah. I have 2 channels, but my other one I use a different picture, I think. And the other one I don't use very much. It's just old lady fitness stuff usually. My daughter, probably shouldn't say this, I hope she's not listening. I always get in trouble. But we get some celebrities following, and she knows the back end of, I don't know anybody I don't know anything. I never go online like with my business. So she says, and she goes, oh my God, you got this huge celebrity. And I never even know who they are. That's how out of touch I am. Some huge celebrity. Yeah, I don't know who they are. It's funny. Every time she says that, I don't even know who they are. Well, she's 30 and I'm 65, so it makes a difference. And I think as you get older too, you don't get excited by stuff like that. Like anyway, they're just parents really. So I don't know. Would I get excited? I'm trying to think, who would I be excited if someone followed? I don't know. Are your prices on your website? I don't know. It's all, yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I don't go on my website. Let me see. Are my prices on my website? If you go, there's lots of, the behavior board's on lots of different places on here. Oh, she's done a really good job. Okay, so I'll just look at the toddler course. Is the price on there? Yep, it's on there. Yep. And coaching, is that on there? I don't really I shouldn't talk about coaching because it's right there. Yep, it's all right there. Yeah, I've just got a big wait list right now for coaching, but I'll get through it eventually. Why do my toddlers follow me to the bathroom? Yeah, they all do. I look after my granddaughter. She's 20 months old 1 day a week. And I have never peed alone when I'm there, ever. Yeah, they like to watch you. She's right there. And it's funny because she's sort of chatting, but she's just sort of waiting around. Like, come on, Grandma, come out and play. Even if she's doing something on her own although I'm there to play with her, so she's used to me playing with her the whole time. So even if she's doing something, as soon as I go to that bathroom, she's in there in a shot. You know why? I think part of it is too, like with my kids, I can remember that. I can never take a shower alone or anything. You're trapped in there. It's especially when I was a mom, because you're trapped. They're used to, I was running around doing stuff, whereas when I'm at my granddaughter's house, I'm just babysitting. I'm just there for her, right? But when I was a mom, I was busy doing stuff. When you're in the bathroom, you're trapped. You can't get away from them. You're not going to do the laundry or do something. You're in there and they've got you, right? So, yep, they know where you are. Okay, love your advice. Did you sleep train your babies? Okay, I don't really know what sleep training means because it could mean a lot of different things, but I'll tell you what I did. Both my kids, or one of them slept with us for about, I think it was the first 8 months of her life. And it was brutal because we didn't really sleep. We were terrified of smothering her. So we were sort of half asleep. We'd switch off with her, but she just loved cuddling. And, I just kind of wanted to do that. So anyway, so I did this with both of them at about 10 months old, and both of them were waking up in the middle of the night. They wanted to feed, but then they wouldn't really feed. They just wanted to play. So I thought, no, enough's enough. So what I did was I just put them in their crib, and then I said, okay, good night, whatever. And then I left. I let them cry for 1 minute. Then I went back in. You're all right. Then I left for 2 minutes. Then I went back 3 minutes, 4 minutes. And then eventually they fell asleep. But while I left the room, and I didn't stay in their room, when I left the room, I closed the door and I sat and cried into a pillow. It was agony. But both of them, it was just one night. I only had to do that once. It was brutal. Brutal. I don't like it when babies cry. When a baby cries, I pick them up. But not in the middle of the night. I decided they didn't need to be fed or anything. So anyway, I got to get going. I still got stuff to do, of course. I put off stuff, and now I got to do it now. So anyway, check out my website, BratBusters.com. And you can get my free behavior board, my courses. They're 2 boot camp courses, one for toddlers, one for older kids. You can look into coaching. I do have a big wait list, but I will get to it eventually. And also the podcast. It's called BratBusters Parenting Podcast. My daughter and I do it together. It's on all the platforms, and it's on YouTube if you want to watch us, because we do film ourselves while we do it. And anyway, thanks so much for joining me. I'll be back again when I can. Happy parenting. Bye now.